Hey guys, I'm so glad you watched the last episode and some of you guys enjoyed it. We are doing this whole thing just to make sure that we educate you guys. Okay, so as informed last week, we had 400 plus participants, and then we had a series of tasks where people performed, and me and Bala, we ended up interviewing about 8 people each, and out of those 8 people, I selected one person and Bala selected 1%. So before I tell you who I selected, Bala, maybe you want to tell who you selected?
Yeah, so pretty much everyone was quite motivated to be as a part of this. However, 2 people who were really interested in me, and I felt like I should be picking from these 2, multiple reasons. So I had Sahil in my mind.
My name is Sahil Jaswani, 25 years old.
But after my interview with Sapna is the one which I have selected, Sapna Thorat. After my interview with Sapna, I felt like, okay, this particular person would be the right fit for this particular series because a lot of people will get to know and get to learn a lot of things through this. Right. And this individual is more relevant to the regular crowd, regular public.
Right, and Sapna is also one of those folks who performed better. Just to remind everybody that Bala is going to train one person who has performed better in all the tasks, and I'm going to train someone who has performed the worst in all the tasks. Okay, so Bala, tell me more about why you had picked Sapna out of all the other individuals, and what makes her so unique in this case, and how challenging do you feel it would be to train her?
Some of the guys were like very motivated and very fit, and we could have a great transformation also. Yeah. But I felt once I started talking to Sapna, there are certain things which made me interested that okay, this particular person is the right person. She is above 40 right, years old. Okay. And she has menopausal, yes. Okay. She has PCOD. Okay. Wow. So it's a lifestyle disorder. And on top of it, she has been involved in different other physical activities, but not really into weight training. So this would be a new experience for her altogether. Right. And one of the things she mentioned is she's never had a coach.
Okay, that's interesting.
Right. So this particular point was the deciding factor between other participants and her, because anyone who's starting fresh with a coach, what are the different challenges they might experience? These are the things which can be more relevant for people who are starting out with a coach or who wants to work with a person for getting fit.
Coming to me, I had 2 individuals in mind. One was this 19-year-old kid. His name is Yash.
I'm Yash. I'm 19 years old.
I think he's about 150 kgs. I laid my eyes on him when I saw him first time. And I was almost certain that, this is the person I want to train after he had completed all the tasks, because he really performed so badly. He fell while running also, and he was really struggling. I felt really bad for him, and I was like, okay, he's the one I wanted to train. But then I saw another gentleman after performing all the tasks. His name was Deepak, and Deepak was 51 years old.
Hi, I'm Deepak Pauskar. I'm from Aurangabad.
When I kind of did this analysis, I thought, okay, Deepak is going to be far more difficult because he's obese as Yash. He is almost 130 kgs. He also has diabetes, and then he's 50. So Yash has a lot of time ahead of him. He's younger, right? Yeah. So his body can recover. But unfortunately for Deepak, he's 51, right? So the clock is ticking.
20 years of your life you've been off.
And so I felt that, hey, even though I wanted to help Yash because he seemed like a very helpless kid, I just could not do injustice to Deepak because he has less time. That reason I selected Deepak, because he's far more challenging. Yeah, so Bala, tell me about it. Like, these guys, they came to office, we met them. How was the experience? What all things did you discuss? And how are you going to, did you also take the blood test?
Yeah.
Report? And so what are some of the things that you are looking at?
Some of the parameters were way off. So like not what? Way off, actually. A little on the borderline kind of a stuff.
Right. I mean, she was performing so good in all the tasks. And this happens very commonly. We see this so many times. You know, people, they run marathons, they do all sorts of sports, they perform so good in tasks, but when it comes to their internal health, they have no idea,
Yeah.
right?
So as soon as I saw those, parameters, I felt like, okay, let me just investigate and understand what does she eat on a daily basis.
Right.
And that's where I figured out, she might be a person who exercises a lot and she's kept herself active, but her eating habits were not like that great.
Yeah, she'd be probably, I eat clean, I eat the right kind of food, right? That's
yes.
But no idea about how much protein she's consuming.
No quantification, nothing. And she felt like, okay, these are healthy stuff, so let me just eat it. So some of it was nuts and some of it was all the stuff. Yeah. So the calories were shooting, the protein was absolutely low. I just averaged it around 40-50 grams is what she was consuming on a daily basis.
This is very common. We've seen this so much. Everybody, because I think people have been brainwashed by media and social media and the companies where all they have to do is just call something healthy. And when they call something healthy, people automatically assume, hey, if this is healthy, that means the more of it I eat, the more healthier I become. This is so true for nuts. I mean, nuts are, I wouldn't call them fat. They're okay. But the fact that, everybody keeps calling nuts healthy is such bad information, because nuts are extremely calorie dense. 100 grams of nuts is like 650 calories. And they are equally rich in omega-6 fatty acids, which is known to cause inflammation if you don't have sufficient amount of omega-3s, right? So it's not that nuts are a great food. They're okay. You can't have a lot of nuts.
One of the biggest problems is in Indian families, we tend to put a bowl of nuts in front of us and we don't even realize when we are finishing the whole bowl.
Yeah, nuts have very high energy density, but they are extremely poor when it comes to satiety, which means that you'll have 100 grams of nuts. That's almost equal to one big meal. So for Deepak, I think, we got his blood test done. When I looked at his blood report, I was expecting some things which are going to be way off, because he's 136, he's diabetic, right? But it was far worse than what I initially thought. His fasting glucose was almost 130 mg per dl. And just to give you some sense, your fasting glucose should be not more than 70-80. I mean, his fasting glucose was more than people's postprandial blood glucose levels, right? So that was there. And his HbA1c. Now, HbA1c is basically glycated hemoglobin, which is a test used to measure the degree of diabetes in adults. Typically, HbA1c of 6 and above is not considered good. This guy's HbA1c was almost 13.
13?
Yes. So he's not just diabetic. He's like 100% diabetic and more. Right? And I wasn't aware of this, because I remember when we were doing the auditions, I clearly told people that do not come if you have a life-threatening disease. And later on, when I spoke to him, he didn't realize diabetes is life-threatening. That's why he came.
Oh, 13?
Yes, 13. So his HbA1c was almost 13. I think 12, 13, something like that. I don't remember it right now, but it was something like that. And then his testosterone levels were absolutely poor. They were below 200. So you have really bad testosterone levels, you have extremely high HbA1c, you have extremely high fasting blood glucose, and he's 130 kgs. But I think what's happened has happened, and I guess he's a sweet guy. He's a successful businessman, he has a family, and everybody wants him to get fit. And so that's basically it, and I met him, and he has a very big goal for himself, and he definitely wants to get better. And so for the next 3 months, the idea is that I'm going to train him, and I'll try and bring him down to maybe 100 something for the first 3 months. What's your goal for Sapna?
Sapna has a goal of getting abs.
Okay.
However, from the looks of it, right now at this point, she is relatively on a higher body fat percentage. She has
How much
quite a lot
would you
of fat.
assess her body fat percentage to be?
It's definitely more than 30.
More than 30?
More than 30.
I think in case of Deepak, it is more than 50%.
Yeah.
Because somebody of his stature, his height, he's supposed to be not more than 70 kg. So if you are almost like 130, 140, that's 50% body fat, because you can't have that much muscle mass. So he's sitting around 50% body fat, so he's actually in morbidly obese category. And Sapna, you are saying
Sapna
must
is
be
like
30,
about
35%.
30 to 35%, and she wants to have visible muscles, right?
Right.
So the initial impression she had is like, okay, I have to train hard, I have to build those muscles. But with the kind of initial training which she had, she has decent amount of muscle. It's just that once she gets leaner, all the muscles will start showing up, and I think she'll be more satisfied because she doesn't want to look big also.
Right. So yeah, that's I think that's it. We'll keep you updated on their training programs, their eating pattern,
strategies.
diet style, everything. We'll let you in on everything that we are doing, and hopefully in the next 3 months you'll see an amazing transformation which you'll be able to learn a lot from. Until next time.